I'm Deb Gillis. I have 3 motels in town, the Key Lantern, the Bluefin, and the Sunset Inn. I've sat on council since about August when the council chose me to replace Kathy Hill. I spent about 10 years on the chamber board, including sitting as president. I was also on the Affordable Housing Committee for several years and chaired it. I have extensive background in retail management. I worked for Montgomery Ward for many years, long before they decided to close their doors.
I am Bob Johnson. I've been the mayor. I've served on council for 4 years. I've been on the Florida Bar Grievance Committee. I've served on multiple boards and so many public events I can't remember. And I'd be delighted to be your councilman once again.
Thank you all. Cheryl Krobelson will now explain the mechanics to everyone here, and then Larry Schaefer will start the debates going. I'm sorry, the discussions going.
Again, thank everybody for coming. Previously, you drew numbers. We are going to answer the questions that you drew, which have been previously submitted by the Venetian Shores Homeowners Association. Each seat will answer that question. You're going to answer starting with seat 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, obviously. The last question, which you drew for, will be a separate question. I'm not going there right this second, but within the seat, when you answer questions, we're going to do this alphabetically. Good news is, in the first seat, we have an A and a B, so that's easy. First, Don will go, then Paul will go. The next question that you answer, Paul will answer first, Don will answer first. This is simpler. Nobody has to go first and last every single time. We ask that the audience withhold any applause and any commentary until the end of the evening so that people can listen to what's being said, hear what's being said, and the candidates also have an opportunity. The one thing that I would like to remind you is when we get to the 5th question, there will be a brief pause because we're going to hand a piece of paper to each of you, and then you will work from the piece of paper that we've given you. This time I'd like to thank you again for coming. I'm going to turn this over to Larry Schaefer now and let him begin the questions.
Good evening. I need to know what number you are because I really don't want to call you by a number. So I think Mr. Atchenberg had a number 1. Yes, if you could print that on the on your name tag, that will help me. I'd rather call you by your last name than your number. Each one of you needs to put your number on the front of it. Yeah, so I can tell who's who, and I can ask the question using your last name. It's the Well, these numbers here are the candidates. Yeah. I have to have questions to ask before I can ask them. All right. That's the question. All right, how do I know which one is seat 1? Yeah, but there's 2 of them.
Okay, Mr. Atchenberg goes first. The left, right, right.
Left, right, each time? Oh, okay, I can do that.
Okay, reverse the question.
All right, for seat 1, question 1, and this is for Mr. Atchenberg. Please address the choice of a central versus on-site treatment method as a method of meeting required wastewater standards, and what proposals you have to address the problem of treating our wastewater.
The treatment of wastewater, in my mind, it needs to be treated centrally and regionally. Council made a decision earlier this year to send its waste to Key Largo. And, excuse me, Council made its decision earlier this year to send its waste to Key Largo. That decision is being working. The implementation of that decision is being worked on now. The Senate Bill 2018, which will be, it's introduced today in the Senate, as the Florida legislature opened its session today, calls for regionalization and central sewers in Monroe County. Although there is a caveat there, which allows for decentralization or on-site plants, which must meet 10-10-10-1 standards, which right now are very difficult to do. But the proper and best way to treat our waste is to treat it centrally and regionally, sending it to Key Largo. Thank you.
Mr. Bates, you want to read the question again?
No, thank you very much. I am all for pursuit of looking at home-based systems and also retrofitting our existing plants. I've been up to existing sewer plants to meet 10-10-10-1 standards. Here is 2018 as of today. I wish we would have been more involved in the amendments in this important Tallahassee. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected by you, I will be up in Tallahassee putting our voices into this. I've been for 4 years for the Key Largo option, have worked hard and vigorously to let the council see the benefit of Key Largo taking our wastewater, and we still don't have any kind of rough draft agreement that can be signed at any time. In fact, right now, the Key Largo wastewater, as you saw in the paper last Wednesday, is being very much alienated by our council because of the $5.2 million that we lost in grant, funding, and we're not willing to admit it because we're holding back till after the election. This kind of transparency will not happen with me as your council person. So we need real solutions. We have to clean up our water. We have to fix this thing. And we wasted $20 million. It's time to get some real direction. My engineering background will help.
Oh, that was good.